Okay, so I'm just going to bring up Flash. So you guys have done all your concept drawings by now. You're ready to go. So what we're going to be using is this program called Adobe Flash, and it's been around for a while. Like I said, you know, pretty much if you saw any ad on the internet, it was done with Flash. There is quite a lot it can do. Okay, but we're only going to be focusing on a certain amount of it. Okay, we're not going to be going through the entire program. We're just going to be doing just a little bit, okay? Just kind of ease you into this, okay? And ease you into animation, because that's what we're using it for. We're using it to make 2D animations, okay? And the reason why I'm using Flash is because it's really simple to get your head around and for what you guys are doing. And in Year 9, I get my guys to actually work on 3D animation, which is like a whole nother ballgame, okay? We're using 3D space. So this is to kind of give you some baby steps into that. So I'm going to show you what you're going to be looking at now. This kind of layout, all right, it's a bit cluttered on my screen because I'm connected to the projector. So on your screen, you'll actually have quite a lot more space, and it'll look a lot cleaner. So I might even just reset. There we go. So that's what you'll see. Okay. So essentially, you've got a few things here. You've got your scene. So this is kind of like this little area here. Think of that like your movie screen. Okay, whatever gets on this white screen is what you're going to see in your movie. All right. Down here, you've got a thing called a timeline, and these here are frames. So whenever you do, when you watch a movie, okay, movies have 24 frames in a second. So for 1 second of film, there are 24 individual frames. So there's 24 pictures making up 1 second. Okay, and then in TV that can be about 29 or 30. But essentially, 24 frames is 1 second of footage. So if you want to put that into perspective, when you watch a cartoon, what cartoons do you guys watch now? These South Park, Family Guy, Tom and Jerry. All right. So no one's watching The Simpsons anymore. No one's watching.
I love The Simpsons.
Okay. Well, to put it into perspective, if you go back and you watch your Tom and Jerry, Jack, I'm with you with that, or you like your classic Bugs Bunny from the 40s and 50s. For every second of footage that they've got on screen, they've had to draw 24 images by hand. Okay, so they've drawn 24 little pictures to make 1 second. So if in 1 second your cartoon character moves from left to right, so he goes in 1 second, he goes and he moves across. They've had to draw that character 24 times. And each frame, they've just moved it a little bit. Okay? And then when you play it back really fast, it looks like it's moving. Okay? So that's what animation is. And that's what they've been doing for years, probably hundreds of years they've been doing that, really kind of just drawing little pictures and then moving them really quickly. You've all played with those flip books at some stage in your lives, where you flip them and, whoa, it's moving. That's what it is. Okay? The difference, obviously, now in the past 20, 30 years with computers and computer animation is that we don't have to draw 24 frames. Okay, we can just draw a few and the computer knows the rest. And I'll show that in a second. So that's your timeline down there and there's your frames. So if you're looking at here, I'm working at 24 frames a second. So I can draw 24 individual images up to here and that'll only be 1 second of animation. So there's your timeline. Okay, and then over here you've got your library. And that's where you'll have all those elements that you're going to put together to make your animation. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two different things. I'm going to show you how to make an element. I'm going to show you how to animate it. So it's just those 2 frames back and forth, which is what we're doing. And then I'm going to show you how you're going to put that into your scene. And I'll do it really, really quickly. So first off, you start in your library up here. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to add something to your library. So you go in here and we want to add a new symbol. Okay, so that's what your elements are going to be called. Your faces, your planes, all that stuff that you've drawn, they're going to be symbols. And they're going to be a movie clip. Okay, there are other options down here, but they're going to be a movie clip. So for this example, I'm going to do, I don't know, a dog. Okay, I'll do a dog. So, all right, we'll do Winston. He'll like to have some credit here. All right, Winston. Okay, and so what you'll see here is it's changed now from, there's my scene, okay, so that's my final movie, and over here I've got Winston in my library, and I've got a new screen here where Winston is. Okay, now this is where I create my elements. So all you're going to do from here is draw it. So you've got these drawing tools down the side. kind of similar to Photoshop in terms of you've got a brush tool and you've got an eraser tool, but that's about it. You haven't got a huge range of stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on frame 1, and I'm going to draw Winston. Now, bear in mind I'm using my mouse here, so it might not be the best drawing in the world. We'll do that, and we'll give him an ear. And I'm also left-handed, so it's really hard for me to draw with a mouse with my right hand, but we'll give it a go. He needs a bigger eye there, and there we go. That kind of looks like him. He'd be proud of that. He's got a bit of tuft there. He's getting old though. All right, so that could be Winston for now. All right, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can all see his beautiful face. There he is there. Now I've drawn that at frame 1. Okay, and so what you're going to do is you guys are only going to make 2 frames in your animation. We're not going to do 24 because we'll be here all day. You're only going to do 2. So in the video clip example we used, you saw it had a guy dancing and he went from like this to this. And it just played back and forth, back and forth. Okay, and that's only 2 frames. And that's all you're going to need to do. You can do more, which we'll talk about in a second, but 2 is all I want because, again, you'll be here all day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 frames of animation with Winston here. So down here, again, here's our timeline. So remember we said in 1 second, there's 24 frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, all right, at frame 10, or even actually at frame 12, which is halfway between that, I'm going to do a different move, a different animation. So what I do is I go in here and I right-click this and I put in a thing called a keyframe. So if I insert a keyframe, there it is there. Okay, and so now what happens, I'm going to change Winston here and I'm going to change my animation. And I'm going to do it really easily. I'm just going to literally erase parts of it. This is kind of the quickest way to do it. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my paintbrush. I might even make it a little bit bigger. And he's now looking up there, and I'll put a little bit of spit coming down. Okay, he dribbles. It's embarrassing for him actually. He's not too clever, but he's cute. Kind of takes after me. All right, and so we'll have it look like his ears are flapping up. Okay, and so now, because at this frame here, I made a keyframe, and at this frame here, I made a keyframe. What keyframes are, is it's like a snapshot. Okay, so at frame 1, I made a keyframe, and it made like a photo, and all right, that's what it looks like, and that's how it stays. And then at frame 12, there's a snapshot there. So there is my 2-frame animation. And because that is at frame 12 and that's at frame 0, that means it's going to take half a second for that to change. And what we want to do now, of course, is we want to go back to that one there. Okay, and I'm going to do that in the 24 frames. So what I'm going to do is instead of drawing this again, I'm just going to copy that frame and I'm going to go to frame 24 and I'm going to paste it in. Okay, so now it goes back and forth. All right, so if I actually try and play that, and then back. And then that will actually, I'll just loop it so you'll see what it'll look like. If I play that now, it's just going to keep doing that. Now obviously I could have spent a bit more time if I wanted to, and I could have drawn, say here, his ears only coming up a little bit. And then in another frame they're coming up a little bit more, and then they're coming up a little bit more. And so when I played that, instead of being just they're up, you'll see it slowly go up. And I'll quickly show you that. But again, that takes a long time because you've got to draw every frame. So we're just doing the 2. So there we go. There's my Winston. All right, and he's so cute. And there's my movie clip in my library of Winston. Okay, and then you'll do more. So let's do another one really quickly. I'll do another one in here, and I'm just going to call this. I'll call it me. All right, and I'm going to attempt to draw myself here. Though I don't know how you could capture these good looks, but we'll try. All right, so we'll go. Oh wow, I've got a fat face. Oh wow, that's awkward. I have a large nose. I know I do. So we'll give myself a fairly big nose there. And I've got a winning smile. So we'll do that. What? I'm also incredibly charming. Hey, don't pick on Daniel. The representation of face. There we go. There. Beautiful white / purple teeth. And we'll give myself some eyes because that would be handy to have. I know I've got big eyebrows. Oh wow, no, I don't look like that's a bit harsh. There we go. They're nice. And there we go. And that's weird. I'll give myself some glasses for today. There we go. Wow. Fashionable. And there we go. I kind of look like a potato. Okay, that's fine. I mean, let's not dwell on that. And of course, obviously, we don't need to use the one color. So you can pick whatever color you want. I've always wanted to have pink hair. I think I would look cool with pink hair. So I'm going to do that. So there's my... Wait, have I got a part? I do. I'll do my part there. And I'll do my slick... There we go. That obviously looks like my hair. There we go. And let me just try and... yeah, okay. Let me do this. And now it's just going to look like I've been eating chips. That's meant to be like an attempt at some kind of beer there, but it just looks like I've got Cheetos on my face. But anyway, there we go. So that's me. Wow, it's kind of like me. I do say so. And then obviously now I want to change this animation to do something else. So at frame 10 here, I put in that keyframe. And now I can go, all right, what am I going to change? How's this animation going to work? What I might do is I might go in and just quickly erase that winning smile. Get rid of that. Now I'll use the eyedropper so I can get the same color. I'm going to go back here. And I might just, I don't know. I know what I'll do. I will now scream. So this is me in front of 8A. Humanities. No, I don't scream. Okay, actually, and we'll do this. There we go. We've changed that there. That's my mouth, like, angry. Clearly, I'm good at drama. Okay, and I'm angry now. There we go. Clay, pay attention. Sorry? I do need more beard, or Cheetos, depending on your perspective there. We'll go back to the brush. There we go, there. And because I am obviously such a nice guy, I'm going to then do this, and I'll go in here, and I'm giving myself a halo. I don't know, well, I just feel I'm really nice. I'm just a super guy. I don't know why. I did that. There we go.
Yellow on the screen, because it's green up there.
Yeah, it's yellow on the screen. There we go. And obviously you've got things like a paint bucket tool, so you can, fill colors in. So it is kind of like painting as well. And there we go. And there's, and there's my animation there. We probably don't need sound effects, apologies. And then same deal, I copy the first frame, and I go to frame 24, and I paste it in. And so now if I want to play that little bit back, there we go. And there's your animation. Okay, just the 2 frames, really, really easy. All right. So we've done that. So now what we'll do is you'll go through here and you'll fill out your library with all your elements. So I know some of you have got a lot. You've got 10, 20, 30. How many have you got? You'd fill that out. So I've done 2, but you'll do a whole stack more. Okay. Then what we do, all right, we're ready to animate. I'll quickly show you that, but I'll give you another lesson later on when you're down there. So what you want to do is you want to have this filled with all your elements before you begin. So if I go back to my scene, what's going to happen later on, so probably a couple of weeks from now, is you're then going to start putting these elements in your scene and starting to animate them. So for a quick example, I'm going to get Winston here, and I'm going to plonk him there. Okay, I'm just going to zoom this out. And I'll just show you a quick example of what you're going to do. And then I'll put him over here. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to make this go for my first 2 seconds. So the first 2 seconds of my video clip, Winston is just, his face is just coming across the screen. So I'm going to insert a keyframe. And then I'm going to move him across here. All right, there we go. And now, what you'll see here, so at frame 0, he's over there, and at frame 60, he's over there. So he's just jumping back and forth, okay? Now, if this was an old school animation, you were doing it by hand, I would have to draw at every single one of these frames, this moving across, bit by bit by bit by bit. But we don't have to do that here. All I do is I'm just going to right-click this, and I'm going to insert a classic tween, and now, there's Winston. Now what you'll see here is he's not animating, okay, but he will. So if I do that, there he goes there. And so what it'll do is it does your animation, but it repeats that little motion that you made, so you don't have to keep doing that every time. And that's it. That's basically what you're going to be doing. So obviously you're going to go in and put your elements at different points in time. So what you'll have down here is you'll have your music track, and you'll see exactly where you want it to go, and you drop them in. But that is basically it. That's really, really, really simple. And that's what you're going to do. But what I'm going to show you really quickly, just for fun, is I'll show you how detailed you can actually do this kind of frame-by-frame stuff. So that is what you're going to do, and I'll save that as a test so you can play with mine later. I'll just save it on the desktop. And I'm just going to do a new one. So, all right. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to do a frame-by-frame animation like you would do in a cartoon. Okay. So I'm going to turn on this one thing down here, which is called onion skin. All right. I'm going to do something really simple and just show you what you can do with a program like this. So I'm going to start, again, it's tricky with a mouse, but I'll give it a go. I'm going to start with a ball. I'll do a color you can actually see. I'll start with a ball here. So I'm just going to draw this ball. All right, there it is there. And then I'm going to move to frame 2. And I'm going to insert a frame. Okay, and I'm going to draw another one. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a blank frame. There we go. And you can see that's kind of faded out. And I'm in a second frame, and I'm going to draw another ball, just a little bit away from it. And then here, I'm going to insert a blank frame. And I'm going to draw another one. And so what I've got on here, this onion skin, what it's showing me is the previous 2 frames. So I can see what I had, so I can draw something else. All right, it'll all make sense in a second. And I'm going to insert another one. And I'm going to make my ball go over here. And I'm going to insert, so you can see how long this would take. Now, I'm just drawing a circle. Could you imagine if you were drawing, you know, an entire character? Yeah, and I'm also not doing a very good job. Yeah, insert another one. All right, and so now I'm going to make the ball start to go down a bit. I'm going to speed this up a little bit so you can get the idea. Insert blank. All right, starting to fall. Well, it's now changing shape. Insert a blank. And we'll make it hit the ground here. And we'll do that again. All right. And
that's like half a second.
yeah, I'm nowhere. Yeah, exactly. I'm nowhere even near a second yet. This is why, you know, animated movies would take forever, because you had to draw every frame. I'll show you an example in a second. All right, so that's enough for me. Now, if I play that back, okay, I'm going to get rid of that. There it is there. So that's, I mean, and that's how it works. So to you, that looks like that's kind of, I mean, it's not incredibly smooth, but that looks like it's actually moving across. And so all it's doing is it's doing every single one of those frames that I've drawn, and it's playing it really, really quickly. So that's how that works. If you have 24 frames in 1 second, it'll look smooth. If you draw it, obviously a lot better. You know, if you have a look at my drawing in there, you can see, if I do it slowly, you can see my circle changes, obviously, and it's changing shape, and I've got big gaps between it. But if you did that really, really well, and you drew your characters really detailed, how they used to do it is they would have this kind of tracing paper, and they would draw, and they would flip up, draw, flip up, draw, flip up. It's crazy. Yep.
Can you insert shapes from the side?
Yeah, you can do shapes, you've got squares, you've got ovals, okay? You can also copy as well, so, you know, you can copy your existing shapes, and you can do all that kind of stuff. But that's something that you can do a little bit more advanced, this frame-by-frame stuff, because it is actually really cool how detailed you can get it. So, going back to what you guys are doing is, what you'll be doing for those that are starting right now, which is a good chunk of you, is you're going to go into your library. So, first up, you go File, New, and what you guys want to pick is what's called Action Script 2. That's what you want to pick at the start, and off you go, okay? And then you go into your library, and you'll start creating here. Now, here's the most important thing, and this is the one that everyone gets a little bit wrong, Joel, is when you start, you don't want to create your animations here in the scene, okay? So the scene is your final movie. You don't want to create your elements here. You want to create them in the library. So right-click, new symbol while you're in the library up here, and then create your item. And you'll see here it makes a separate section here for your son, in this case, and then you draw your sun, and then again at about 10, insert a keyframe. All right, and then you've got your sun. Okay, and that's in your library. So you guys are going to be filling up your library with all your elements, and that's it. Cool. That all made sense. I think it's once you get into it, it's actually really, really easy, which is cool.